Say, alright, so first and foremost, I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakodash. We said about our person, Elas, Remus, and Ruel, teachers of person should. And with his salutations, so the Akim was the push you wouldn't truth and sincerity, day in and day out, and constantly in season on a season with Shalom. Once again, going into our video here. And let's basically touching about some of the outbreaks, well, a particular outbreak that happened recently. Right, that it says, let me read it here. It says so Washington just logged a human H5N5 infection. All adults hospitalized with high fever, confusion, and respiratory distress, infected with the bird flu strain that had only been seen in animals before. So only seen in animals, now it end up where? In humans. It says CDC, no evidence, rest to public has increased, right? And what I wanted to touch upon is how just like that, how easy it is for these things, these outbreaks, because there's a lot of when you read this page here name is Outbreak Updates. Is a page basically follow to get like news when it comes to like different sicknesses that happen in worldwide, um different outbreaks, different cases where people come into the hospital with different diseases. And they were this bird flu was being tracked months prior, because I remember doing videos on it where the bird flu itself, it caused, I believe it was Japan, places in China, America, and other countries where they had was to mass cull the certain farms when it comes to like the chickens and the cows and so forth. They had also killed, if not hundreds of thousands, if not millions of them, right? And I went into how easy it is that these things could cause were like famines and so forth. And but you see now where the disease itself, it spread to what? To human, right? To human. And just like that, a normal day. I remember this broke out, this news basically broke out the same time where it had the Epstein situation coming out with Trump, where they said that what he did to Bill Clinton and so forth, right? You can basically look it up, and you'll see what what I'm talking about. This came out in the midst, and then everybody started to talk about this, right? Now let me bring a scripture here. It's in the book of Sirach, chapter 40, and I'll go read from let me read from right, let me read from verse 8. It says, such things happen unto all flesh, both man and beast, and that is sevenfold more upon sinners. Death and bloodshed, strife and sword, calamities, famine, tribulation, and scourge. These things are created for the wicked, and for their sakes came the flood. Right? So these things are what? It's saying here, these things were created for the wicked. Death and bloodshed, strife and sword, calamities, right? Now when you look up the word calamities, let's get a quick Google search here, right? It's a calamities, it's an event causing great and often sudden damage or distress, a disaster, right? See if I got next meaning for the word here. Even it's say in the Bible we find examples of such calamities more literally called evils. More literally called evils, bad things, or great evils. Floods and famines were such calamities, but prime example, right? So these things were called what? Calamities. It's a great misfortune or disaster, as a flood or serious injury. It's a grievous affliction, right? So these, as the scripture says, such things happen unto all flesh, but both man and beast, and that is sevenfold more upon sinners. Yes, sevenfold more upon you, right? It's a death and bloodshed, strife and sword, and calamities, right? And calamities, that those great evils, and there are many things happening in the world right now when it coming from when it's a famine, the sword, right? You're seeing the earthquakes, you're seeing these diseases, these pestilences being spread, right? Every single day, before you'd hear this once in a while. Now, basically, every single day you're hearing some sort of outbreak, some sort of sickness taking lives upon lives, right? Now, because this is the H5. Now, what I wanted to do was go back up, right? I'm gonna go back up to 1 hour ago. It said the Omicron was marked as mild, and I hope while doing this video, each of us want to get rid of your videos when they touch upon certain things, right? But nonetheless, continuing to say, in 24 Brazilian hospitals, 649 adults hospitalized during the Omicron wave were followed for 12 months. About 30% were dead within a year. Survivors had clearly damaged health, and again, showing these jakes were being plagued, right? The plague, these things, as I mentioned here, death and bloodshed, strife and sword, calamities, famine and tribulation and scourge. These things were created for the wicked, and for their sakes came the flood. At their sakes came the flood, right? For being what? For being wicked, right? But you're seeing what is being sent. There's nothing being nice being sent, and they are being plagued on every single angle. When they think they're safe from this part, there's something else waiting for them. And when they think they're safe from that too, there's something else coming. So they might escape the earthquake. They might escape the storm. Some of them might escape the famine. But then it have these things in the midst, like the sickness, right? Then it had the sword waiting, right? They're being tormented on each side, right? Second Ezra's 14 verse 16. It says, for yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter. Greater evils. So things are only going to get worse and worse. It's not going to get better. The contrary to popular belief, right? Like you go in these churches, these Christian churches, they will tell you things are only going to get better. Things, the world going and come. And no, it's not. Evils are increasing, and the things that are being done now, it's only going to get worse and worse, right? So the fact where every single day you're hearing something basically new to the air, where someone maybe died from, someone being tormented from. We've seen the increase of war, we've seen the increase of famine, right? We've seen the increase of great death. All the things that were prophesied, that were mentioned to happen at the end, the signs of the times, it's happening. The scriptures mention pestilence, right? When you look at the meaning of the word pestilence, you see pestilence is a serious and deadly infectious disease that spreads quickly and kills large numbers of people. Scriptures tell us about the pestilences, right? Right? So going back now, pestilence, you see a fatal epidemic disease, especially the bubonic plague. So this a plague, basically a plague, right? You see, when you do the AI overview on pestilence, you say in the Bible, pestilence signifies a devastating, rapidly spreading infectious disease, often interpreted as a form of mass destruction and divine judgment. And that is what? The judgment from the Lord, right? When these scriptures not mentioned, these things were what? For the sinners. That is divine judgment. These things are being sent from the Lord. These things were created for them that sin against the Lord, right? So that way it's a divine judgment. Is the Lord sending these things unto you all, right? For being what? For being wicked, right? And we're seeing Jake being tormented by these things, right? So it's a for yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter. For look how much the world shall be weaker through age. so much the more shall evils increase upon them that dwell therein. So much the more that evils increasing. Yes, evils increasing. Right? It's getting worse and worse. It says survivors had clearly damaged health risk stacked in older comorbid patients who needed oxygen. This is what living with it looks like when you actually measure. And who get hit by this? The Brazilians. And I Jake. Right? They Jake. Right? So the scriptures say, for yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter. Right? Greater evils. Right? But judgment is being sent from who? From the Lord. Right? Judgment is being sent from the Lord. Second Esdras 15. And let me go to verse 26. Right? It says, for the Lord made all them that sin against him, and therefore delivered he them unto death and destruction. And that is what coming your way. That is the deliverance you are going to get. Unto what? Unto death and destruction. So that when you look up the word what pestilence, it says what? It says a divine judgment. You know, that is who's sending it? The Lord. But the Lord do all these things. Right? The Lord create all these things. These things were created for who? For the wicked. Right? Because you can go through this page here. It's the same way I actually subscribe to like a page that gives update on like earthquakes. You know, I subscribe to other page on like world news or world events, world news events. These are things that you continue to watch. Scripture said to be occupied in prophecy, right? Reading the scriptures on a daily basis, but we watching to what's happening, right? Taking heed to what's happening around us, and we see like this here. See, that's like watch some news coming out about different viruses, different deaths happening, people being plagued, right? Animals being plagued, right? So you see, watch how much, you know. This is just an hour ago, 22 hours ago. But that is a repost, right? You know, even these pages are saying like the increase of sicknesses it heavy right now, right? But the Lord mentioned that, you know, and who doing that increase is the Lord, right? They say, for the Lord knew it all and had sinned against him, and therefore delivered he them unto death and destruction. And that's all the deliverance, and that's what's coming to you all, death and destruction. Right? They say, for now what the plagues come upon the whole earth, and ye shall remain in them. You know, just for this, and that's just to show you, you know, these people talking about things will get better, you know, these things will disappear. No, scripture does not mention, for now what the plagues come upon the whole earth, and ye shall remain in them. Ye shall remain in them. There is no coming out. Right? They say, for God shall not deliver you, because ye have sinned against him. Because what? You sinned against him. Right? Right? So don't think things are going to get better. Things are only going to get worse. Right? Things are only going to get worse. So with that, once again, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakodash. We said about our apostle and elders, great Muslim ruler, teachers, our apostle and shoot. And with this salutation, so the I come to push you with truth and sincerity, day in and day out and constantly, in season or the season, we say, Shalom.